Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, assembled devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please, may I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining every single day, giving your sweet appreciation. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Gary in Montana. Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna, Gary Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining every day and giving your valuable association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day and chatting so beautifully. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga and all assembled devotees. This is Shashida joining from San Antonio.
Hare Krishna, Shashidhar Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for joining and chatting so beautifully. Welcome to
coffee and my sugar.
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Okay, I'll start the recording. Hare Krishna, once again, I welcome everybody to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Before starting our session, I will read Srila Prabhupada quote, 10th May. Krishna's mercy is always there. It is your misuse of free will. You are giving the opportunity that is fortunate, but you did not accept the fortunate. That is your misfortune. May 10th, 1975. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today's session is given by Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Kirtida Sundari Mataji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagawat, Madhya Kanda, first chapter 157 to 164. Hare Krishna, Kirtida Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagawat. I now hand over the call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hope my voice is audible. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for sharing your valuable time with us. And thank you, Vinita Mataji, for this beautiful quote by Srila Prabhupada. Yes, mercy is always available. Just like the sunlight is always available. But it's we who put the thick cloth curtains so that sunlight doesn't enter. Same way we are so much engrossed in our material things that we don't accept the mercy which is flowing everywhere. So thank you so much. So we'll start. We'll recite our Mangalacharan and then we will go ahead with our Caitanya Bhagawat verses. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Guruve Gaura Chandrai Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktai Tadbhaktai Namo Namo. Anandi Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemabhadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Ajanulambita bhujau karnakavadhatau Sankirtane kapitaro kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau Dvijavaru Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataram Jayati Jayati Deva Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Jayati Jayati Kirtis Tasya Nitya Pavitra Jayati Jayati Bhrityas Tasya Vishveshwamurte Jayati Jayati Nrityam Tasya Sarva Priyanam Makam Karoti Vachalam Angum Langayate Girim Yatkripahatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So we are in Shri Caitanya Bhagawat, Madhya Kanda, and we are on chapter number 1. So what we saw is, a quick recap, is that Mahaprabhu returned from Gaya, met Ishwarapuri, got initiated, turned into Bhavak Nimai from Pandit Nimai, came back to Navadvip, started exhibiting those ecstatic symptoms, calling out to Krishna from his heart and crying profusely for not attaining Krishna or for not seeing Krishna in the association of his confidential devotees. But this news spread far and wide, and everybody was very happy seeing their Pandit Nimai turning into Bhavak Nimai, to an extent that they were discussing among themselves that if Nimai continue becoming the Krishna devotee, then he will change the heart of even the atheists. Then Mahaprabhu went to the house of his teacher, Srila Gangadas Pandit, where he got the instructions from his teacher to continue the way he was teaching his students. Mahaprabhu accepted his orders, and then he started continuing the teaching process to all his students. But previously, Mahaprabhu used to explain them about the grammar, about Sanskrit grammar, about showing his panditya. But now, because he has turned into a devotee, into a Bhavak Nimai, so at every syllable that he teaches, he brings out Krishna. He brings out devotion of Krishna from that. And in this way, whatever he was teaching, he was just singing the glories of the Supreme Lord. The students were new to all this. They were not able to understand that what Mahaprabhu is teaching. But Mahaprabhu stuck to his point of teaching the glories of Krishna, the glories of chanting Krishna name, establishing the point that there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So Mahaprabhu explained each and everything by being himself absorbed in Krishna. Because the one who himself is absorbed in Krishna can explain the glories of Krishna to others. Otherwise, everything will be on the superficial platform. So Mahaprabhu explained that ultimately, whatever we are learning, whatever scripture we study, the bottom line, the boiled down point is to remember Krishna's holy name and consider that Krishna is the eternal truth. That Krishna is actually the supreme controller. He is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the annihilator. No matter for all these things, different demigods are appointed, like for creation, Lord Brahma is there, for maintainer, Vishnu is there, and for annihilation, Lord Shiva is appointed. But no matter what, still he says that ultimate is Krishna. Ekela hi Ishvara Krishna arasava bhritya. Yare ache na chai se tai che kara nritya. only Supreme Lord is actually the controller, the proprietor, the maintainer, the master. He is the Ekalai Ishvara Krishna. He is the only Ishvara. Arasabhavritya. They all other are servants, and they are simply dancing the way Krishna is making them dance. And this way, he expanded the philosophy of all the Vedantas, all the teachings, boiling down to one point, that Lord Shri Krishna is the ocean of mercy. He is the life and soul of the universe, and everybody should bow down to him and have affection towards him, because the essence, the sar of all the literature is Krishna Prem, is to understand Krishna. That is the purport of all the scriptures. And if anybody doubts on this point, that there is a difference between Krishna and his holy name, or why should we take up the chanting? We should read the Vedantas, we should read the scriptures. Then he says that you are at fault, because once you doubt, then you suffer. So therefore, if you don't want to suffer, Mahaprabhu says, then have that conviction that to know Krishna is the essence of all the Vedic literatures whatsoever. And second thing is that there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. So we'll continue. This was just a recap. So we'll continue what Mahaprabhu wants to say further. I'll share my screen. We'll continue from verse number 157. We'll be simply reading today because His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is our revered spiritual master of our Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, has written very, very beautiful, extensive purport explaining the verse. So we'll not concoct our own ideas. We'll stick to the purport, we'll go through the purports, and we'll understand the meaning. So here the verse is 157. Krishnera bhajana chadi ye shastra vakhane se adhama kabhu shastra marma nahi jane. So previously, in the previous verse, he's saying, Vrindavan Das Thakur is quoting, and Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is translating, that Ei Mata Sakala Shastra Abhipraya, Ihate Sandeha Yara Sei Dukha Paya. That the purport of all scriptures is to know Krishna. And anyone who doubts about this fact will definitely suffer. So in continuation, he's saying, Krishnera bhajana chadi, agar Krishna ka bhajan chhod doge, if you will leave chanting Krishna's name and Shastra Vakhane, and still you keep on preaching the Vedanta, the philosophies, the Agamas, the Nigamas, if you keep on explaining all the Shastras, all the scriptures, but you yourself don't practice Krishna bhajana, then you are a adhama, then you are a fallen soul. Why you are a fallen soul? Because Shastra marma nahi jane, because you don't know the marma. Marma means the purport. You don't know the purport of the Shastras. Because the purport of the Shastras is to perform Krishna bhajan. And if somebody is explaining about scriptures, is giving vyakhan, is giving the bhavarth, is giving the explanation, the purports of the Vedic scriptures, but himself is not practicing Krishna bhajan, himself is not absorbed in thought of Krishna, then that person is adhama. He is a fallen soul because he doesn't know the purport of the scriptures. So, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur starts with, he says, due to heaps of impious activities accumulated from previous lives. So we have basically accumulated very nicely, arjita, papa. We have very nicely accumulated all these sinful activities in our life. In our account, we ourselves have written those sinful activities. But why have we done so? Krishna bhuli jiva, anadi bahir mukha, ataiva maya tare dei samsara dukkha. Because we are those conditioned living entities who have forgot Krishna for anadi kal. For time immemorial, we have turned away from Krishna. And therefore, what happened? When we turn away from Krishna, that means we are turning towards Maya. Because Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Adhikar. Because if we are in sunlight, then definitely there is no darkness. Because Krishna is like a sunlight and Maya is like a darkness. So if we are in sunlight, then there is no role of Maya to play. But if we are not in that sunlight, then definitely we are under the control of Maya. So we are under the control of Maya. And time immemorial, we have forgotten Krishna. We have turned our face away from Krishna. And therefore, who has taken over us is Maya. So Maya has taken over us. So therefore, when we are under the control of Maya, naturally, heaps of impious activities we have performed, and we have accumulated the sins because of those activities. Because now we are not Krishna conscious. We are not absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. We are totally under the control of Maya. And not from this life or 2 lives, but for time immemorial. Krishna bahir mukha jaha bhoga vancha kare, nikatasthaya ma thariya jhapatiya thare. Because we have thought only of our own sense gratification, we have turned away from Krishna and bhoga vancha kare, and we have just desire for our sense gratification. And naturally the Maya who is standing next to us, is jhapate dhare, has taken control over us. Because of which we have accumulated heaps of impious activities from our previous lives and gave up Krishna's worship, which is the only purport of all the scriptures. Nama vinu kali kale nahi ara dharma, sarva mantra sarva nama ei shastra marma. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that Nama Vinu, if we are not chanting Krishna's name, if we are not doing Krishna bhajan, which is actually the essence of Kali Kal, which is the sar of this Kali Kal, it's the dharma of this Kali Yuga, it's a Yuga dharma of chanting Krishna's name. If we have not accepted this process, Sarva mantra sara nama ei shastra marma. Our Shastra's purport explains that actually the essence of this Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma of this Kali Yuga, is to chant Krishna's name, is to focus on Krishna's name. That's the sar, that's the essence. But if we have forgotten that, which is the only purport of all the scriptures, and do not explain the scripture based on that devotional service, if we are not establishing the point of performing devotional service, Prabhupada always says, bhakti is not some sentiment. Bhakti is associated with service. If we are still not accepting that service, if we are not following the process of devotional service, and just going on explaining the Vedantas or all the other literatures, or in other words, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, we accept the unfavorable devotional process of anya bhilasha, of karma, or of jnana, and focusing only on the 4 purusharthas, that is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and giving up the pancham purusharth, which is the highest of Krishna prem, then actually we are ignorant of the real purport of the intention of all the scriptures. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to understand that the essence of all the scriptures is to chant Krishna's name, is to focus on Krishna, is to do bhakti, is to do devotional service. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that when the term bhakti comes, it refers only to Lord Shri Krishna, not to any other servants of Lord Shri Krishna, like Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or Goddess Durga or Ganesh, so on and so forth. Performing their worship is not regarded as bhakti. Bhakti means only to Lord Shri Krishna. And Prabhupada says bhakti means devotional service. When we perform some service through our limbs, when we make garlands for Lord Shri Krishna, when we sweep the temple of Lord Shri Krishna, when we cook for Lord Shri Krishna, when we dress the deities for their pleasure, or when we mop the floor, or when we wash the utensils, all these are simply the activities. But why they are regarded as devotional activities? Because the main ingredient of bhakti, of devotion, is embedded in it. If we forget the main ingredient of devotion, then all these activities are merely an activities. But if we want these activities to be devotional service, then the main ingredient of bhakti should be embedded in it. Just like Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tome Yena Bhakti Pranashit, that you have to add the ingredient of love and devotion. Then you can offer anything and I'll accept it. You offer me a leaf of flower or water, I'll accept it, provided bhakti is there. But if we offer Chappan Bhog to Lord Shri Krishna, to Srimati Radharani, but not a tinge of devotion is there, and Krishna will reject it. Shastra is praman for this. When Duryodhan called Krishna, he arranged for so many varieties of items to be offered. But Krishna rejected because there was not a tinge of devotion in Duryodhan. Whereas Krishna ran towards the home of Vidura, where Vidurani was offering just a leaf, not even the fruit of banana, but the peel of banana. But because there was devotion, he accepted it. So that is the real purport. The real purport is Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Navrita Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttama. That is the Uttama Bhakti. When we do something favorable to Krishna and reject that is unfavorable to Lord Shri Krishna. Abhilasha, Karma, Jnana, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and even Moksha. When we give up, that we want only Krishna Prem. Oh Krishna, if you want me to stay in this world, so be it. If you want me to take a birth as an insect, so be it. But my only aspiration is, make me an insect in the home of a devotee. Kita Janma, even if I have the Kita Janma, maybe in that home of a devotee. So that's the beauty of a devotee's desire, that they only want Krishna. And that's how we all should also aspire for, following in the footsteps of our acharyas. So Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur then very beautiful words from Shvetashvara Upanishad, and he says, Yasya deva para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasya kahita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. That only those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. So we don't have to put our extra endeavor in reading all those Vedantas, all those Shastras. But if we do service with devotion, to whom? To Lord Shri Krishna and to Bhagavats, to Mahabhagavat devotees, to our spiritual masters, then those great souls, because they are Tattva-darshina, because they have seen the truth, naturally they will implicit all the faith that is required in us. They know the Vedic knowledge. They are the Tattva-darshina. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariparshrena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Krishna says that janma karma chame devyam. If you want to know about my appearance and my activities, then what? You have to understand the tattva. You have to understand the absolute platform. But how you can understand that? Only when you go to a tattvadarshi. Only when you go to a person who knows about me. Only that person can reveal the right knowledge to you. So in academics, in the material knowledge, yes, if we want to know anything about the subject matter, we have to go and enroll ourselves to some universities, some colleges, and read under the guidance of those professional teachers. Only then we will be able to understand that subject matter. But spiritual subject matter is just the reverse. For that, you don't need to enroll into any kind of university. But what you have to do is to serve. Just serve. Serve menially as possible. The more we serve menially, the more our heart will be cleansed. And the more our heart will be cleansed, the more our heart will be the recipient to absorb the mercy that is coming out from Shri Guru. And through that mercy, all that Vedic knowledge will be revealed. And just like Prabhupada in the purport that Vinita Gandharvika Mataji read today, the quote that she read, Prabhupada is saying that mercy is flowing. It's everywhere. We have to become the right patra. We have to make ourselves eligible to accept that mercy. And how we will be able to make ourselves eligible? Only by cleansing ourselves, externally and internally. How internally? When we chant Krishna's name. The anarthas goes away. Cheto darpanamarjanam. And through Nama Sankirtan, through chanting of Krishna's name, heart becomes cleansed. And when heart becomes cleansed, then Radha and Krishna take their residence in our heart. Then Gaur Nitai, then our Ishtadev will take residence in our heart. And through the knowledge of, through the service towards Srila Guru, Shri Guru will import that right Vedic knowledge in our heart. So, yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyaita kathaita hiyartha prakashante mahatman. That Vedic knowledge will be revealed. Therefore, we say that spiritual knowledge and material knowledge, they are different. For spiritual knowledge, you don't have to join any college or university. It will automatically be revealed, provided we make ourselves eligible. How? By chanting and serving, by doing some menial service. When we do that, then definitely we will be able to understand. But it has to come in a disciplic succession. Our acharyas, they always say that we don't have to hear. We have to be very careful whom we are lending our ears to. If we are lending our ears to all these people who speak on Shastras very extensively, but have no faith in Krishna or don't do any bhajan for Krishna, then it is useless. Au Vaishnava Mukho Dirgham, Putam Hari Kathamritam, Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam, Sarpo Chishtam Yathapaya. What it says is, Au Vaishnava Mukhargiram. If we hear something from the mouth of a Vaishnava, from a mouth of non-Vaishnava, who is still not level of understanding the purport of revealed scriptures, who is still not chanting Krishna's name, who has no faith in Krishna, that a Vaishnava, if we hear about him, if we hear from him about Sri Krishna, which is about Hari, Kathamritam, yes, anything related to Krishna is actually Amritam, it's nectar. But if we hear from the mouth of a non-Vaishnava, then Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam, if we hear, then there will be no transformation in our heart. Why? Because Sarpo Chishtam Yathapaya. It's the analogy being given that just like milk is very pure, and when you drink the milk, naturally the body is nourished. But the same milk, the potency of milk is not reduced. Milk itself is very nourishing. Whosoever will drink the milk, jo bhi dugdh pan karenge, whosoever will take that milk, definitely body will be nourished. But if the same milk is touched by a serpent, then that milk becomes poisonous. Similarly, our acharyas have said that this Hari Katha is very pure. It's very nourishing for our soul. Anything related to Krishna is very, very nourishing. But if we hear from the mouth of a Vaishnava, from a mouth of a non-Vaishnava, then the same Hari Katha becomes poisonous. It's just like the milk touched by a serpent. Why it becomes poisonous? It's not that the Katha becomes poisonous, but the bottom line is that after hearing that Katha, everything will be stored in our brain, but our heart will not be transformed. So when we hear Krishna Katha, when we chant Krishna's name, the ultimate is that there should be a transformation in the heart. If the transformation is not there, then there is no use of hearing Krishna Katha. Then only the brain will be nourished. The soul will not be nourished. It will be very pleasing to our ears, but it will not be transforming to our hearts. So therefore, we should make sure that we should hear from a bona fide spiritual master, someone who is in the lineage of a disciplic succession, because then the Harikatha will not be modified. It will be as it is. Because when we hear it from the disciplic succession, it comes from Sri Krishna down to the parampara, the guru. And then it will never be modified. Rather, it will act as a transparent via media. And then Krishna will be very close to us. And then we will feel that transformation in our heart. So it is up to us. Do we want transformation of our heart or not? If we want, then we have to make sure that we have to hear only from the reliable sources, only from a bona fide spiritual master. And when we hear that, what should we do? We should just hear from one ear and let go from the another? No. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitate Khoriya Akya Arana Kariyo Manasha. I don't have any other desire. Only desire that whatever the instruction is given to me by my Srila Gurudev, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. It is actually the Mahavakya. It is the Vakya. It is the lotus, Mukha Padma. It is coming out from the lotus mouth of my Srila Gurudev. Chitate Khoriyakya. That gets embedded in my chitta, in my heart. Shri Guru Charanarati, Eisai Uttamagati, Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. So what I want is that attachment to my lotus feet of my Srila Gurudev should be actually the right perfection. Why? Because it fulfills all my desires. Then Narottam Das Thakur says, Chakshudam Dilo Jai, Janme Janme Prabhu say, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. That spiritual master whom I'm serving has actually opened my darkened eyes, took me from the level of ignorance and placed me in the level of light. And Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. And the right knowledge, the transcendental knowledge of Lord Shri Krishna has become enlivened, has actually been revealed to me in my heart through my Srila Gurudev. Prema Bhakti jahan hote, avidya vinasha jaite. And when Prema Bhakti happens, jab Prem ki Bhakti uday hoti hai, when it gets awakened in our heart, then naturally ignorance is lost. Avidya vinasha jate. Vede gaye jahara charita. All the scriptures say this. Narottam Das Thakur is saying that this is not my samadhi dasha, what I am saying, but all the scriptures, Vede gaye jahara charita. All the scriptures sing about this truth, about the character of Sri Guru, that Sri Guru reveals that knowledge in the heart, takes us from the mode of ignorance to the transcendental mode, above all three modes. Right? So he's saying So we should have that implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master, because both of them will help. Through the mercy of spiritual master, we'll get to know Krishna. But how do we get to know Krishna? Only through the mercy of spiritual master. So spiritual master will help us come close to Krishna, and Krishna will help us through Chaitya Guru, who is sitting in the heart, will help us to have that Mahabhagavad devotee in our life, whom we can surrender so that we can know about Krishna. Then he quotes about from Katha Upanishad, Nayam Atma Pravachena Labhyo, Na Medhya, Na Bahuna Shrutena. That if you want to know about the explanations of the Supreme Lord, Nayam Atma Pravachena Labhyo, just by hearing some pravachans from those expert people won't help. Na Medhya, not your own wise, vast intelligence will help. Na Bahuna Shrutena, no matter how much you hear, the knowledge will not be revealed. Yamevesha vritunate tena labhyas taseva atma vritunate tanum swayam. Krishna says that I am the one who chooses whom has to be revealed from this knowledge. On your own, you will not get it. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, it is said that we are simply Kripa Siddhas. We achieve some Siddhi. We achieve the transformation of our consciousness, the shift in the consciousness that is brought. It is only by the mercy, not by our own sadhana. There is no bal in our sadhana, no bal at all, because the environment is not that conducive where we can perform our sadhana with so much of sincerity, but we are only Kripa Siddhas. So the Supreme Lord will choose one whom he thinks. Even Prabhupada, in one of the purport from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, explains that when Krishna thinks that this person is eligible to come home back to Godhead, Krishna will orchestrate the life of that person in such a way that the person will come in close contact with the Mahabhagavad devotee and the life will be transformed. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed by a small little Brahmana boy. He has the power to counter curse, but he accepted it as the will of the providence. And Krishna orchestrated his life. That Krishna who protected him in the womb of Mother Uttara can now protect him from this curse also. But no, Krishna wants him back to his Goloka, to his abode. And Krishna orchestrated his life in such a way that he was being cursed. And then finally, Krishna sent a Mahabhagavad devotee in his life in the form of Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who explained the entire Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days and 7 nights non-stop. And Parikshit Maharaj heard with so much of sincerity that after 7 days, he had a glorious departure in the presence of all the different sages. Mahabhagavad devotees were present in that assembly. And Parikshit Maharaj left this planet. So it was all arranged by Krishna. So therefore, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur is quoting from this Katha Upanishad that Krishna only chooses. On our own, we cannot decide. We cannot choose. We cannot even expect a Mahabhagavad devotee in our life. It will only happen when Krishna will understand our sincerity. When Krishna understands that, yes, now is the time that this person has been wandering in these 14 planetary systems for lifetimes. Now at least I should give him the chance to come in contact of a pure Bhagavad devotee. Pure devotee. Brahmande Brahmite kaun bhagyavana jiva. Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bija. And when that pure devotee comes in the contact of that Mahabhagavad devotee, that seed of devotion is sown in the heart of that devotee. And then that seed starts fructifying. The consciousness of that devotee starts developing. And then there is a real transformation. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur then quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Shabda Brahmayadi, Shramastasya Shrama Phalo, He Adhinum Eva Rakshata. That if one is learned in Vedic literature, but is not a devotee of Lord Shri Krishna, then his work is simply the useless labor, simply waste of time. And then he gives the analogy, just like somebody keeping a cow that does not gives milk. Adhenu. Dhenu means milk, cow. Adhenu, that cow that doesn't give milk. So, dharma sonistapamsham vishvekna katha shau notpadya yataratim shamayvahi keva. Bhagavatam describes that if we perform our occupational duties, but if those duties are not taking us close to Krishna, is not taking us close to our divine couple, then all those activities are Shrama eva hi kevalam. Notpadya yada ratim. If those duties is not bringing some rati, some attachment towards our divine couple, then it is Shrama eva hi kevalam. It is simply useless, waste of time. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of our resources. So we have to engage ourselves in such occupational engagements that will invoke some divine consciousness in our heart. If that is not happening, then it is useless labor. But how it will be possible? It can only be possible through hearing and chanting. Chanting the names of our Supreme Lord. And any occupational duty that will help us to come closer to Lord Krishna should be accepted. Rest, everything should be rejected. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Bhakti anukula matra karyera svikara Bhakti pratikula matra varjana gikara. Anything that is conducive to Krishna consciousness should be accepted. And anything that takes away from Krishna should be rejected. No matter it may be our attachment to family, no matter it may be our friend circle, no matter it may be our job. If it is taking us away from Krishna, if it is not allowing us to perform our spiritual activities or 2 hours of japa every day, then we should think, we should introspect our life that some changes have to be made. What that changes, that depends upon individual to individual. But the point is that we have to arrange our life in such a way that I should have enough time to do my Shravan, enough time to do my chanting, enough time to do my Swadhyay, and only then I can fix all other things in my life. Then from Bhagavatam he quotes, Athapi te deva padam bujhadvaya prasade lesha anugrita eva hi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimo nachanya ekopi chiram vichinvan. What he says, that if Lord, he's saying, my Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand your greatness. But those who speculate and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they will never able to understand you. Even they may continue to study the Vedas life after life for many years, but they will not be able to understand. Because it has to be revealed, and that can be only revealed when they get the mercy of you. Next verse. Shastrera na jane marma adhyapana kare garda bhera praya yena shastra vahi mare. Those who shastra na jane marma, those who don't understand the purport of Shastras, adhyapana kare, and still have the audacity to teach others, and still have the audacity to practice oneself, then gardhavera prayena Shastra nahi. Then they are simply like gadha. They are simply like asses, donkeys, who are carrying load of the scriptures on their back because they have not understood the purport of all those scriptures. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur writes, those who study the scriptures, they are of two types. One group consists of those who simply carry the burden of the scriptures on their back like cows and asses, and the others who extract the essence of the scriptures like honeybees, mattaliko, right? Who are like honeybees. They only go flower to collect the nectar, the essence. The essence of the flower is in the center of the flower where the nectar is there. And honeybees are those devotees who go to those flowers and extract those essence. And they are mattaliko. Srinivasa Acharya explains this in his Shat Goswami Ashtakam, that they are mattaliko. All these Shat Goswamis are like honeybees. Radha Krishna Pada Ravinda. Because they are going to Radha and Krishna Pada Ravinda, they are lotus feet to extract that honey. That means they are so much absorbed in the thoughts of Radha and Krishna. So being bewildered by Maya, those foolish people then mistakenly accept other equally qualified as like people as learned. So when we hear somebody who is not a devotee, who is a Vaishnava, then definitely we are also misleaded. But actually, the most befitting and appropriate for the intelligent Paramhamsa devotees, swan-like devotees, is to know the cause of bondage and liberation, to be addressed as learned scholars. So those who know the cause of bondage, why we have been in this world, and how we can get out of this world, those who can describe this, those who can train us in this, are actually Paramhamsa devotees. They are the learned scholars. But those who simply preach Krishna, those who simply preach the verdict of the scriptures, but doesn't establish the point of Krishna consciousness, then they are simply learned and they are superficially learned. Prabhupada Saraswati uses the very strong term that they are ass-like people. They are simply the donkeys. Then Bhagavatam from 429:44, Prabhupada quotes this verse, which says that it is the verse that Narad Muni spoke to Prachina Bhari, that although expert speakers continually deliberate on the strength of austerity, knowledge, and samadhi, but they could not fully know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who witnesses all things. So one may be very good in performing austerity, but may be very good in knowing about this knowledge. One may be very good of attaining the position of samadhi, but if they don't know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if they don't understand that He is the essence of everything, then it's simply useless. Right? Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridishane vishtam matta smritar jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda vidyeva chaham. Krishna says the essence of all the Vedas is to know me, is to know Krishna, that He is the compiler of Vedanta and He is the knower of all the Vedas. If we don't understand this, then we cannot understand anything. Ihara prasade paibe Krishna tattvasar, sarva shastra siddhantra iha paibe par. If we want to know Krishna tattvasar, then all the siddhantas boil down only to one point, that Krishna is the essence of everything. Savai pumsa paro dharma yato bhakti radhokshaje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupational duties, savai pumsa paro dharma, the occupational duty that one should ever perform is, that is loving devotional service to Adhokshaja, to that Supreme Lord who is infallible. And how we have to perform? Ahituki apratihata. It has to be continuous, uninterrupted, and unmotivated. There should not be any hetu of performing devotional service. There should not be a business contract between Lord Shri Krishna. You give me this, I'll do this. You do this for me, I'll do this. No, that devotional service should be without any hetu, without any cause, without any motivation. And it should always try to done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. If that happens, then yes, that is the supreme occupational duty. Text 159. Padi na shuni na loka gela chare chare Maha Mohotsave vanchila tahar. Padi na gela chare chare. Hear the Vedas. And we meet our death. We keep on hearing, we keep on studying. One day we will meet our death. But then what happened? We heard, we studied, but if we have not reached the essence, if we don't know the essence is Krishna, and we simply die, then it's just waste of time. We will not achieve anything because we have not understood the purport of the Vedas. And Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Krishna Maha Mahotsave Vanchilathare. We will be vanchit, we will be bereft of participating in Krishna festival. Krishna's festivals are so enlivening. I was just thinking about this, that how I still remember the January came, and from January the May came. Almost half the year has gone. Not exactly half, but almost. But where it has gone, I've never ever able to recollect, because every day was a festival. Back and forth the festivals were there. Back and forth services were there. So if we try to keep ourselves engaged in Krishna's festival, in thoughts and absorption of Krishna, then days will pass. Yes, the days will pass. We will also meet death one day. But at that time, we will have that little satisfaction that yes, I did something which is useful in my life. At least not 100% I have made my life worthy, but at least to some extent by following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Gurudev, at least I made some good use of this human form of life. The days will pass for everybody. Even the devotees will meet death. Even the materialistic people will meet death. Days will pass for everybody. Even the Gyanis, even the Ashtanga yogis, everybody will meet death one day. But the devotees will have a tinge of satisfaction at what they did because they participated in Krishna's festival. They did some service with their limbs. So that kind of satisfaction will be there in the heart of devotees. Otherwise, it is simply a waste of time. Then Vrindavan Das Thakur gives the merciful aspect of Krishna, because yesterday in one of the verses it says that Krishna is Karuna Sagar. He is the ocean of mercy. How he is the ocean of mercy? Why we call Krishna as the ocean of mercy? Now Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, Putanare ye Prabhu Kaila Mukti Dana Hena Krishna Chadi Loka Kare Anya Dhyana. He's bringing the aspect of Putana. That Putana Yai Prabhu Kaila Mukti Dan. If our dear Lord Shri Krishna, who is the son of Nand Maharaj, can liberate a witch named Putana, who came to kill him, if he can liberate such a witch, then what is the use for us to go to some Anya Devta and request anything or ask for any benediction? It is not good. Yena Krishna Chadi. Knowing this, if somebody leaves Krishna's side and loka kare anya dhyan and go to some other demigod or to some other divine person and ask for some benediction, what is the use? Who can be more merciful than Krishna? Who can be more merciful than Krishna? He quotes, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur quotes this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, the most celebrated verse spoken by Uddhava to Vidura. Aho baki yamistana kala kutam jigyamsa payad api sadhavi lebhe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kamva dayalu shranam vrajena. Who can be more merciful than my Lord Shri Krishna? Then he quotes this pastime. So this verse actually appears in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam about the delivering of the witch named Putana. Putana was a serious killer. She was a baby killer. She used to kill all the infants. She loves to suck on the blood of those infants. She was the baby catcher. She was the Rakshasi. She was accustomed in black arts too, that black magic too. And her specific duty was to kill infant babies and drink their blood. With such a malicious intent, Putana came to the house of Nanda Maharaj. She changed her form into a motherly form. She changed herself into a beautiful woman, a celestial woman, a woman that has come from heavenly abode. And with that, she entered the house of Nanda Maharaj. When Nanda Maharaj was not there, but the emotional, sweet-hearted, the kind-hearted ladies like Yashoda and Rohini, they were not able to understand the intent of Putana. They just saw her action, that how she is so beautiful. She is someone who has descended from some celestial plane and has come to bless my Kanha. And seeing her, they all the soft, kind-hearted Rajvasis, including Mother Yashoda and Rohini, they were blinded with her beauty. And they spontaneously trusted Putana as a very loving, gently mother. Even Mother Yashoda and Rohini did not stop her entering in the inner chamber where our Lord Shri Krishna was lying down in a cradle. She came specifically to kill Krishna, who was very, few days old. Just a few days old he was at that time. And there Uddhava says, Aho baki yanastam kala kutam. That Baki, that sister of Bakasur, she came as a great demon and she applied a kala kutam, the dangerous poison on her breast. And she came to Nanda Maharaj. Jigyamsi. Jigyamsi means that she was so malicious in her heart. She was filled with envy. Apyayad. And she made that poisonous milk to be drunk by Krishna. She was asadhavi. She was unchaste. Why she was unchaste? Because her intentions were not right. Her words and actions were not matching. Her thoughts were not matching with what she was doing. She was giving that motherly love to Krishna, but intent was to kill Krishna because she smeared her breast with that dangerous poison. She was behaving like a mother, but her intention was to kill that baby. That baby who can invoke affection in anybody's heart. Krishna was so beautiful. Krishna was a darling child of Vrindavan. He can invoke affection in anybody's heart. But he didn't invoke affection in the heart of Putana because Putana was inflicted with a disease known as envy. And when we are also inflicted with the disease of envy, which N stands for no, and V stands for vacancy, there is no vacancy in the spiritual world for people who are filled with envy. So she, without any mercy, wants to kill Krishna. But Krishna is so merciful that even she was having that envy in her heart, Krishna was thinking, how I can deliver. Let me just see her action. Let me not just focus on her intention. So this is the mercy of Krishna. Sometimes Krishna sees our intentions. Even though our actions in chanting Krishna names may not justify, but our intention Krishna will see. Our sincerity Krishna sees. But sometimes Krishna ignore the actions, ignore the intentions, sorry. Sometimes he ignored the intentions and just see the action. And that's what he saw in Putana. He ignored her intentions that she came to kill him. He just saw that motherly action that she was showing externally, superficially, as a pretense. She was pretending to be a mother. And Krishna saw that pretense to be real. Krishna saw that one loophole to give mercy to Putana. And Krishna searches for some reason to deliberate. Krishna has eyes opened without any lids. He doesn't want to blink his eyes in the form of Jagannath because he just wants to focus on good, to see good in others. Only want to see good in others. Even if something somebody does, Krishna wants to focus it and wants to make it as what do you say? He wants to make it as the prominent thing in our life. That's what Krishna wants. He wants to make it as a prominent thing in our life. Little small we do. Little devotional service compared to mustard seed we do. Krishna will take it as mountain, will enhance it, will glorify it, and will make an excuse of taking us home back to Godhead. And that's what Krishna did. So Krishna, what he did, he just saw the action of that Rakshasi, of Putana, and then he gave Lebhe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam. Uddhava says that Uchitam, that right justice Krishna did by making her the maid servant of Mother Yashoda in the spiritual world. Who else can be more merciful than Krishna, who can give his mercy onto this malicious demon like Putana? Who else can be more merciful than Krishna? He is the worthiest person whom we can take shelter of. And in spite of knowing this quality of Krishna, if we run to some other demigods to achieve some material benediction, then we are at fault. We are at fault. Because Putana, who came as a slayer, as a Rakshasi, but Krishna just saw the love and devotion. That love and devotion in the action, not in the intention. And he delivered Putana, gave her the place in the spiritual world where there is no place for someone who is filled with envy, but Krishna can do. So it is Krishna's mercy, which is flowing. And still if we go to somebody else, it's our fault. Therefore he says, Hena Krishna Chari, knowing this, if somebody goes to Annadhyana, follows other process, then we are at fault. We should not do it. Then he quotes about Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, that he says, Bhaktavatsala Kritagna Smartha Vadanaya Hena Krishnari Panditahi Bhaja Anya. That Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. He is very kind to his devotees. He is also Kritagna. There are two things. Kritagna means those who don't value, those who are ungrateful. But Kritagya means those who are very, very grateful. So Krishna is very, very grateful. He is Bhaktavatsala. He is Samartha. He has all the abilities. And he is Mahavadanaya. He is very, very magnanimous. Hena Krishna Chadi. If somebody, knowing this, give up the devotion of Krishna, Pandita Nahi Bhajayanya, then and goes and worship to somebody else, then Mahaprabhu says, he is simply a loser because he will not gain anything. Vikna janara haya yadi Krishna guna gyan anya tyaji bhaje tatha Uddhava praman. Uddhava says to Vidura that knowing this beautiful, magnanimous, merciful nature of Krishna, if somebody leaves Krishna and goes to some other demigod, render some other engagements, perform some other activities, then it's simply useless. And after stating this only, Uddhava states this beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam about this Putana. Text 167. Aghasura hena papi ye kaila mochana kona sukha chadi loka tahara kirtana. What happiness one will give, what happiness will someone give up the glorification of he who delivered the most sinful Aghasura? So that means the ultimate happiness we achieve is to do devotional service to Krishna. No other happiness can be compared to doing Krishna bhajan. Krishna bhajan, doing Krishna bhajan, chanting Krishna's name, glorifying Krishna, reading Krishna's scriptures, understanding the purport of all the scriptures to be Krishna, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Caitanya Bhagawat, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. All these are on a very high platform because they bring us closer to Krishna. Ye Krishnera name haya jagata pavitra nabale dukhita jiva tara charitra. The entire world is purified by the name of Krishna. Yet wretched living entities abstain from chanting his glories. That is their most unfortunate condition. Again, connecting it to the quote by Srila Prabhupada that Vinita Gandharvika Mataji read today, that where Prabhupada says that mercy is flowing, but if we don't go near to Krishna, if we don't accept his mercy, then who is at loss? We are at loss. We are the most unfortunate. And that's what he's saying, that entire world is purified by the name of Krishna. Yet the wretched living entities, yet the most unfortunate living entities abstain themselves from chanting his glories. What it takes to chant Krishna's name? Nothing. Just pick up your bead bag and chant Krishna's name, freely available. But still we are so much egoistic. We are so much conditioned. We are so much unfortunate that we don't want to take up this process. Though we know that this process will transform our heart, though we know that this process will fulfill all our desires, though we know that this process will help us to get rid of birth, death, old age, and disease, which is the highest problem in this world, though we know that this Maha Mantra will take us back home to Godhead, still we don't have taste in it. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala. There is no hard and fast rules. Krishna has invested all his potencies in his holy names. But still, na kala, but still, what is the verse? Nam akari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamabi. Durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanunaga. That is the durdaivam. That is the most unfortunate condition we have. Because we have no anurag, we have no attachment to this holy name. Because we have left Krishna and we are so much conditioned. We are abstaining ourselves in chanting the holy name. The last verse for today. Ye Krishnera Mahotsave Brahmadi Vivala Taha Chadi Nritya Gita Kareya Mangala. Even the demigods headed by Brahma are overwhelmed by Krishna's festivals. Yet people give up such festivals and take pleasure in inauspicious dancing and singing. People are attracted to the Bollywood and Hollywood music, but they are not attractive to Krishna Kirtan. That Krishna Kirtan which can help us, which can really make our human form of life valuable. But still we have no taste for it. We have no taste for it for whatsoever. We want to enjoy the Bollywood, Hollywood music, but we don't want to dance in Krishna bhajan. We abstain ourselves, we refrain ourselves in dancing. When Krishna Kirtan is going on, What's the harm? Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Dance in Krishna Kirtan. Sing loudly. Krishna Kirtana Nama Gana Nartana. That's what even Shad Goswamis were doing. Krishna Utkirtana. They were singing loudly Krishna Kirtan. They were dancing for Krishna. They were singing Krishna glories. So what's stopping us is our own ego. It's our own false ego, not the true ego. The false ego that is stopping us in dancing Krishna Kirtan, in singing loudly Krishna Kirtan. Why not? We can do it. What it takes to dance, what it takes to sing Krishna Kirtan, nothing. But we have noticed. Durdaivam, this is the most unfortunate condition of we conditioned souls, that we have no taste for it. Even though we know that everything is there in Krishna Kirtan, but still we have no taste. So we are the losers. So therefore he's saying that even the demigods headed by Brahma, they also want to participate. When Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukdev Goswami, all the demigods came with a pot of nectar, want in exchange of Srimad Bhagavatam, that, O Sukdev Goswami, recite this Bhagavatam for us, and let this nectar have taken by Parikshit Maharaj so that he can long live. But we want to hear this Srimad Bhagavatam. They are so much enthusiastic in hearing Krishna Kirtan. But people like me, they sleep in Bhagavatam class because we have no taste for it. We have no taste for whatsoever. That we sleep in Bhagavatam class. We sleep when Krishna's glories is being singing. We don't enjoy. We don't participate. We are not enthusiastic. People like me, I'm talking about myself, have no taste in Krishna Kirtan whatsoever. So who is at fault? I am at fault. I am the most unfortunate person who knows the glories, but doesn't still accept the glories, doesn't have taste in that glories. And those who don't have taste, Caitanya Bhagawat says they have no right to preach. No right to preach. So whatever I said today was not at all preaching, was not at all guiding someone, was not at all instructing someone, but this entire class was for myself. I was speaking to myself so that I can be reminded of that if I want to say something, that adhikar I can get only when I get absorbed in Krishna bhajan. Otherwise, it is just like drinking the milk that is being touched by a serpent like myself. So thank you all so much. Thank you for your association. This entire class was for myself. It was not for anybody of you. So please forgive me if I said something that hurt you, that pinched you. But if something, while I was speaking to myself, got stuck to you, then this is all coming from Srila Gurudev. I have no credit to take whatsoever. So with that note, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartman Guru Varga ki jai. Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Caitanya Bhagawat ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. What a beautiful class, and you ended with so much heavy words, Mataji. Mataji's class was so beautiful, and your understanding for Krishna consciousness is so high, Mataji. You are speaking like this, then what to speak about all of us? I mean, especially for me, and there is no chance only. Thank you, Mataji, for such a beautiful, beautiful points, many points. Especially in the beginning, you started with one point that only a person who is very observed in Krishna Katha can say about Krishna very nicely, like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to narrate it so nicely, because he's observed in it. And also we can see in your class that when you are so observed in Leela all the time, the pastimes comes so nice. And especially when you are telling this point of we should always sing, continuously sing all the time. And you have started singing. It felt like it is now. Now we will leave Mataji. Mataji will keep thinking about Krishna. It was like that for me. I mean, the class time is 1 hour, but if I leave you, you'll keep talking about Caitanya Bhagawat. Thank you, Mataji, for so many beautiful points. It was wonderful class. I open the forum for the question and answers. If you have any questions or realizations, please raise your hand. We'll go according to raise hand. Yeah.
I
Doctor.
just want to say thank you so much, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, but I just want to apologize to Preeti Vilasni Mataji. She gave me to cover till 164, but I covered till 163 because already time was up. They were very long purports. So I request if tomorrow Haridas Varya Prabhu can be well informed in time that he can cover 164th verse also, because that is also very wonderful verse on Ajamil. But if I would have taken that verse, it would have taken another 15-20 minutes.
Yes,
So-
yes,
Okay,
Mataji, you're right. Yeah, I will talk to Prabhu, and thank you so much. And generally, I like to load you with verses, so it was my greediness.
Thank you.
And also one more thing, Mataji, that today's quote was so much related to your topic, and it's so nice, right? Quotes are always making us so closer to Srila Prabhupada. That day is completely about the quote only sometimes for me.
Very true.
Yeah, Mataji, please go ahead
Thank
with your
you.
question.
And
Dr.
thank you, Mataji, for the excellent class and session. It was very nice, Mataji, hearing, and you're telling in the class that it is like me, you're devotee, and like neophyte devotees like me. What is the the fate? I don't know, Mataji. That's why I'm telling Mataji, we are doing our duties, like chanting, and we're reading the purports of Prabhupada and all. Maximum reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all. Another thing, no, this I cannot just understand a little. The thing Maya, you told, no, Mataji. This Maya, only Lord Krishna has created everything. Even this Maya is also under his control. Why this Maya is troubling us like this? Sometimes we are also this thing. Our family situations are like that we are not able to this thing completely. In our mind and heart, we want to do complete service to Lord, and we want to chant like that. No, sometimes this Maya or something in that, in our children's form or in husband's form or something, relatives or in our work form, they are coming and it is disturbing us. That's why I was thinking, why, Lord, you are making me like this? Make me to be in your service. Make me think me like this. That's why I'll be praying, Mataji. Just be clarifying that, Mataji, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your sincerity. Thank you for your wonderful question. Actually, your question you have already answered. Is that you're praying? You're praying to Krishna that why I've been troubled so much is actually a prayer that Krishna wants us to make. And that's why Maya takes over. Maya also wants only the cream of devotees to reach Krishna, not everyone. Those who are really sincere. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, I'll share 2 examples. Prabhupada says that when a child cries, then what a mother, you are also a mother, what you do? Do you directly go to your child? No, you first give toys to the child. If the child is happy, then you ignore. You keep on working your household thing. Okay, the child is pacified. But then again, the child cries. And then you go and give some food to the child, maybe some fruits. And the child is busy in that fruits. And you think, okay, child is okay. But then the child again cries. And then no matter what you give the child keep on crying. And then what happened? You go and you hold the child, take care of the child, you give attention to the child. So all these things that is coming in our life are these different allurements that Maya is sending. And why Maya is sending? On the orders of Krishna. Krishna wants to test us. Are they really, these devotees want me, or they are happy with some allurement, something I give them, and they are happy and they'll forget me? So it is coming by Krishna through the agency of Maya. And it's not that Maya is taking us. It's just that we are holding on to that Maya. If the child says, no, I don't want any toys, I don't want any fruits, I don't want any food, I don't want any friends, I just want you, mom. Then what will happen? Mother will leave all the job and will run towards the child and will take care of the needs of the child. So Krishna, Maya is coming, but testing us. Are we happy with those toys? Are we happy those food? Are we happy with those friends, those house, that cars, or those so-called allurements, those relatives? Are we happy with that? Okay, then be happy. But if we still be sincere, keep on praying, no, Krishna, I don't want all this. This is simply taking me away from you. I want you no matter what. Then Krishna will leave everything and will come. So Prabhupada used to say that there was one person who went and embraced the tree and shouted on the top of his lungs, leave me, leave me, leave me. So who is holding on to the tree? Are we holding on to the tree, or tree is holding on to us? We are holding the tree. We are embracing the tree and shouting, leave me, leave me, leave me. Hey, come on, leave yourself. So if we just ignore Maya, if we just don't get into the hands of Maya, then this same Maya, who is Krishna's energy, will help us to progress in our life. So this Maya is not something that we have to take as an envious person or a person who is not moving us towards Krishna. No, she can help us and she can take us away. It's up to us how we take it. If we still be sincere in our sadhana and still want Krishna, then this same Maya will help us go towards Krishna. Haridas Thakur is the life example. 2 times Maya Devi came, 1 time in the form of prostitute, and 1 time she herself came to allure, to distract, to defame Haridas Thakur. But what Haridas Thakur did, he was confident, he was convicted in his Krishna bhajan, that no matter whosoever comes, my ultimate goal is Krishna. So this Maya later helped Haridas Thakur to progress in his path. So it's all up to us, Mataji. We are holding on to Maya. Maya is not holding on to us. And yes, if sometimes some circumstances comes in our life, which we feel is not Krishna conscious, then that will strengthen our bhajan so that we can be more sincere and pray with our heart that, oh Krishna, I only want you. Please take away all these things which is taking me away from you. Right?
Thank you, Mataji. Dandat, ma'am. Thank you for my mind is cleared so much, Mataji. I'm very happy. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Dandat, ma'am.
Yes, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, you have raised hand. Okay, Tanya Mataji.
Sorry, I just I just wanted to thank you for the very, very nice class. And you made us feel that we want only Krishna. Krishna is our only hope. So very nicely highlighted in this class, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and making my consciousness absorbed in Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Caitanya Bhagawat.
It's yours, Mataji.
Tanya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, as today is the disappearance day of Sri Ramanand Rai. So I heard from Amrendra Prabhu that he was an incarnation of Srimati Lalita Devi. But I also say that he was an incarnation of Arjun.
Yes, both.
Both. Okay.
Both. Arjun as well as Lalita Devi. Yes. Parima Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Again, thank you so much. You gave us so many valuable points. And all your classes are filled with such points. Mataji, I had this one thing. it keeps bothering me, at least personally, that whenever we hear these classes, whenever as we move forward in Krishna consciousness by, chanting and hearing classes and hearing from senior devotees, we become fully convinced that yes, this material world is temporary, and wealth, beauty, fame, everything is temporary. Yes, Mataji, the mind gets convinced. But the minute you see somebody having all of these, there is some attraction. We always, at least personally for me, we do feel attracted, even though from then again we put our mind back into place and by saying that these things are temporary. But the attraction, subtle attraction, doesn't end. It's very hard for these things to end. We can, at least for me, I cannot completely say that, okay, I'm not going to be attracted to these things. Yeah, then I again put my, I'm able to tame my mind again. I do tame it back, but it still deviates. So can you just throw some light on this, Mataji?
You are asking a wrong person, because I'm in.
No, Mataji. I know I'm asking the right person. You're mentored by your Guru Maharaj.
I'm also in the same boat. But whatever I have heard and whatever I have been told to practice is the way that you are doing it. The sincerity of a sadhana lies how much time we bring back our mind and fix it on our Krishna consciousness. That's the only sincerity. The mind will run away. The attraction towards others will go. But we have to bring back to Krishna consciousness. And that is what is known as sincerity. And that is what is Krishna is looking for. Krishna is not looking at how many times and with how much focus we have chanted 16 rounds. But Krishna is seeing that with how much sincerity we are bringing our mind back to our rounds when the mind is wandering away. So this is what the sincerity. And the more sincere we'll become, the more our mind will stop wandering, the more the mind will become our best friend. It's just like when you said, when you hear such Krishna Katha, you are so much enthused. Yes, we are enthused, but the moment that class is over, we are back. So it is just when we hear that Krishna Katha, we are switching off the fan. But the fan still moves. It takes time for the fan to stop. So yes, when we hear Krishna Katha, that means we have switched off the button for the fan. But the fan still moves because everything doesn't happen in a day. It needs a lifetime of our sadhana. It takes lifetime of our sincerity. The fan will stop because the switch is off now. It will stop one day. The only thing is have faith in the process and keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving in the direction. The mind goes away, bring it back. Sometimes we are allured, bring it back. We are not the pure devotees. We are struggling devotees. We are sadhakas. And in sadhaka's life, struggle will come. But it's up to us how we take those struggles. Struggle will come, we have to win over. And that winning over can only be possible when we feed our consciousness with Krishna consciousness. Whenever some time is there, try to absorb yourself in some Krishna Katha, either doing your Swadhyay, either some Shravanam. More you hear, more you read, more you chant, more you do all these things, the mind will be absorbed. There will be no space. Normally, I give this example that when you give the child a blackboard and a chalk piece, the child will scribble. A child doesn't even know how to write A, B, C, D. But the child will scribble that blackboard in such a manner that you will not have even a space to put a dot on that blackboard. So scribble your consciousness like a child with Krishna conscious thoughts, so that there is no other place for other attraction to come over. And even if it comes, Even if it comes, because our consciousness is scribbled thoroughly with Krishna consciousness, those attractions won't stay for long. It will come and it will go. So that coming and going is the natural process of this dukhalayam. What else we expect? This will come and go, but we have to be sincere that it should not be retained. Let it come, let it go. Like we hear from one ear, let it go from the other ear. But when we hear Krishna Katha, it should go from one ear, go directly into our heart, should be transformed our heart. But when some material things comes in, if it is coming, let it go from the another ear. So scribble your heart, scribble your consciousness with Krishna conscious thoughts. And in that way, what will happen? There will be no place for other material things. They will come, they will go. Make sure you don't retain them. Make sure you don't speculate on them. Make sure you don't spend time on them. Whatever it is, let it come, let it go. So then slowly, gradually, shaner, Bhagavad Gita says this Krishna conscious process is a gradual step process. In one day we will not become pure devotee, but one day we will become, provided we stick to this process. Have faith in the process. Have faith in our Guru Vargas. Have faith, have conviction in Srila Prabhupada words. One day we will become. Hope that helps.
Yes, Mataji, fantastic, very wonderful point. To scribble my consciousness. Now I will try my best. Thank you so much for inspiring all of us. Mataji, thank you so much. Dandvat pranams to you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru, all the Guru Varga. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there any more questions for Mataji? If there are any more questions, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Gauranga. Such a wonderful, beautiful class, Mataji, and whatever you give the answer, it is very nice for me to, I can say that, scribble our consciousness. Then you can bring the Krishna inside, Krishna conscious. So it was very nice. And Mataji, I have one question. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the times, when we do the Sankirtan, we don't know where we are. But when we do at home our chanting, our mind is going everywhere, wandering here and there sometimes, and sometimes going in pain and everything, and sometimes in some other work. So how come it happens, Mataji?
Because when we are in Sankirtan, then we are absorbed in the consciousness of everybody. So the effect of consciousness of everybody impact us. And then when we are in a group, so naturally the mind will not go anywhere. Natural process will be the mind will be absorbed. But when we are all by our own self, when we know that nobody is watching me now, nobody is there to have eyes on me, at that time we become complacent. We become complacent. Chalta hai. That kind of feeling we have. But even if that is happening, let it happen. Slowly, slowly, as I said, bring your mind back. The moment you think, even if 2 rounds done, 3rd round you realize that, oh, where was I in the past 2 rounds? I was somewhere else. Let me focus now. Bring it back. More you bring it back, the more the mind will be trained that I have to stay in this bhajan. I have to stay in this chanting. So it's up to us. The more we bring it back, the more mind will help us. And how we bring it back, Sachidanand Swami always gives this in his japa retreat, that the hearing part. When we chant, we should hear. At least focus on one word. Like pick your word. If you want to focus on one Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Focus on that first Hare. Even if the entire mantra, the mind is not focused, at least with the second mantra, when the word Hare comes, the mind should be back. So say it specifically, that first Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. So focus on take any word in that Hare, that Maha Mantra. Especially Sachinand Maharaj will say the first Hare and the last Hare. If we focus on that, then the mind will come. These are the various techniques by which we can bring the mind back. But as you said, the mind wanders. Yes, the mind will wander. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Krishna says that mana is very chanchal, very chanchal. It will go, but we have to bring it back. We have to bring it back. And with the constant practice, the mind will be trained. And one day the mind will not go.
Thank you, Mataji. But it mostly my mind is going in my pain so far.
Yeah, if it goes in your pain, then it's hard, because these days...
I always pray to Krishna.
Yeah, praying to Krishna definitely helps.
Yeah.
But these days I can relate to what you say, because I myself is in so much of pain because of some health issues, that my pain is also troubling me. But the only thing is to bring back this pain.
Yeah, that's what I do, Mataji.
Slowly, Mataji, gradually. It's not that we can ignore that pain, because after all, the body is feeling it. So whatever necessary steps to be taken, take it, whether be it a painkiller or whether it to be some necessary medicines that are supposed to be taken.
Yeah, that's what I do, Mataji. But I also pray to Krishna that maybe this is, everything happens behind your hand. And something is benefit for me. I don't know your plan, but you know that plan, what is benefit for me. So I always think like that, and then I just start my chanting, and as soon as just like right now, whatever I hear every day, the katha, my mind is absorbed in that. But later, right away, it's my mind go in my pain. Sometimes in the middle also go, but mostly I like to hear the kathas. So I love that katha to hear.
That's okay. That's perfectly okay. At least till the time we are hearing, we are absorbing our consciousness. So we should be grateful for those moments. That's okay. Even if afterwards, because of some health issues, the mind is going in that pain, still it's okay. But prayers will help. And we all will pray for you so that your health conditions become good and you can chant better rounds, best rounds of your life.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Please pray for me and wish for me.
Definitely, Mataji.
And I wish for you too, Mataji. You are so good like that way, that you are totally in Krishna consciousness, and your Guru's mercy, I can see on you, Mataji.
All superficial, Mataji. I have a long way to go, long way. But definitely we'll keep praying for you so that your health conditions become better and you can chant rounds nicely.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Okay, Vinita Gandharva.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. I take only 1 second. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gopinath ki jai. Yes, Mataji, when we are in so much pain, Mataji, when we hear Krishna Katha at the night 2 o'clock, at least wo 1-1.5 घंटा निकल जाता है, and then here Srila Prabhupada japa box. Whole night it's going on, Mataji. And sometimes because of the age, painkiller is also not working because nausea hota hai, diarrhea hota hai. So we cannot take very high dose medicine. And I understand Mataji's and your pain. That time we take because then that medicine we are going to sleep. So that from first day I stopped that medicine and I start my minor medicine of Tylenol, Mataji. And at night 2 o'clock hearing Kirtida Mataji, Sundari Dasi, and all Bhakti Sangha's teachers lectures, Mataji, and then start Srila Prabhupada japa box. Then at least for 2-3 hours we feel relaxed, Mataji. That is my experience. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gopinath ki jai.
Thank you for sharing that, Mataji. Yes, whatever it takes us to Krishna consciousness, we should try to follow. Thank you for sharing your realizations.
Thank you very much for your deep devotional class, Mataji. It's useful in our day-to-day life, Mataji. Thank you, Koti Dandvat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. So if there are no more questions, we can close the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Kirtida Mataji and all the devotees assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevaja patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnava Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Shri Ram. Har Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Koti Dandvat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.